division titles, 3 American League pennants, 3 trips to the World Series, all in the last 3 years and all for the Oakland A's. But the swaggering A's have been humbled in the first half of '91. Injuries have taken their toll. They're not making excuses. They're not playing good baseball. And they are chasing the teams they previously terrorized, like the Rangers. Led by Julio Franco, batting .321. Rafael Palmeiro, .318, and with power. And the mystery man with the unusual stance, Ruben Sierra. He may not be a household name, but he has superstar numbers, and he just may be the best in the league. They've got young talent blossoming. And they've got old veterans leading the way. And the Texas Rangers are looking back at Oakland, but with a wary eye. This is a frightening arsenal. The Hendersons, Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco, and Harold Baines. The season is only half over, and Tony La Russa says we will not let this season get away from us. The eyes of Texas, baseball-wise at least, are on Arlington Stadium, where tonight the Texas Rangers play host to the Oakland A's. The reason they're looking, these Texas Rangers are headed for the top of the American League Western Division. And do you believe the Oakland A's are in 5th place in the West? Hello, everybody. Gary Thorne, and welcome. ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball. Dave Campbell with me. And Dave, one of the reasons the A's are in 5th place is the man we'll see on the mound tonight.
The Oakland A's have really gotten spoiled over the last 3 years, having the best pitching in the American League. But Dave Stewart has really struggled. Stu had a rib injury. When he came back, some scouts said he was throwing too many fastballs, couldn't locate the forkball. Other scouts, everybody's got an opinion, right? They say he was throwing too many forkballs, lost the zip on the fastball. The good news for the A's, his last outing was better.
When you are struggling as a pitcher right now, you do not want to be facing this Texas team. This is a fearsome lineup.
They are leading the major leagues in batting, runs scored, slugging percentage, and on-base percentage. They have 4 players they call the Four Amigos, headed up by Julio Franco. He's hit 304 out of the last 5 years. Ruben Sierra has averaged over 100 RBIs the last 4 years, on a pace again to have 100 RBIs. Rafael Palmeiro, born in Cuba, he has had terrific numbers the last 3 years. And Juan Gonzalez in the running, even though he can't be the Rookie of the Year because he had 150 at-bats last year, he has been a terrific contributor as well.
Ricky Henderson will get the night off in left field, but he will be the designated hitter leading it off. As a result, Willie Wilson will start in left, the switch hitter. Jose Canseco, good hitter in Texas. He'll be in right. Dave Anderson, great hitter anywhere. He'll be in center field. Mark McGuire did not play last night, back in at first base tonight. Terry Steinbach, he'll be doing the catching. He played first last night, third base tonight, Vance Law. Mike Gallego now starting at second base. And the rookie, Mike Bordick, will be at short.
Going for the Rangers tonight, 26-year-old left-hander John Barfield, 6th start of the year. Batting average versus .281, 6'1", 195-pounder. He's out of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Young Ivan Rodriguez, 19 years old. We'll tell you a lot about this young man. He is catching for the Rangers tonight. Steve Buechele has made 1 error in the last 54 games. He has been brilliant at third base. Jeff Houston has been playing very well. Only 1 error in his last 34. Julio Franco plays second and Rafael Palmeiro at first. Young Dean Palmer only played 1 game in the outfield in the minor leagues. Brought up here, he's now in left field doing okay. Juan Gonzalez in center, and the brilliant Ruben Sierra is in right.
Well, we hope the showers will hold off. 80 degrees, not bad since it's been over 90 most of the time here. Humidity at 77, partly cloudy. Big thunderstorms went through here this afternoon. 40% chance of them again here tonight. Wind's fairly light right now as they are blowing out towards left field as we get set to go with the Texas Ranger team, which has beaten the Oakland A's all 4 times they have played them. 3 times last week in Oakland, and then last night 9-6. Left-hander Barfield ready to go. Ricky Henderson takes it in for a strike. See the numbers for Ricky Henderson, who, as you saw, John told you, will be part of that all-star cast. Starting the game in Toronto with the starters, both Hendersons of Oakland, will be in the outfield. Towards second base, Franco. 1 away.
You saw the on-base percentage by Rickey Henderson. Some people think Ricky's having an off year. He's #2 in all of baseball in on-base percentage, so Rickey is starting to get it together. Julio Franco doing a nice job at second base, although he has committed 10 errors for the Rangers this year.
Barfield looking for the victory will take on Willie Wilson, getting the first out here. Barfield needs to be as conservative as he can with the number of pitches thrown. He is a reliever, always has been. He's been thrown into the starting rotation because of injuries to the Texas Rangers pitchers. Scott Champerino, for one, is going to be out probably for the rest of the season as he's getting ready for surgery. Barfield really is not a starter. He has been at the minor league level. But Bobby Valentine says this guy is someone he wants back in the bullpen once he gets somebody healthy. That's somebody, maybe Witt, Bobby Witt, maybe Arnsberg. Arnsberg likely to be back before Witt is ready to move into that starting rotation. So for now, this 26-year-old left-hander is trying to get the job done. And the A's will try and make him throw the baseball. 3 balls, no strikes on Wilson. Bobby Valentine.
Yeah, certainly smiling. Should be. They've won 6 out of their last 8. But another reason that Barfield needs to be efficient with his pitches is the Texas bullpen has been rather porous lately. They've had an ERA over 8. And the starting pitching of the Rangers, they want to go with 5. They've had to use 9 this year because of injuries. Jose Guzman has really given them a lift.
And Wilson is on, so the switch hitter draws a walk. That will be the 17th walk given up in 61+ innings pitched by Barfield. And this guy has some speed. Jose Canseco coming up. He had a mooing and awing here last night. It was a home run night last night here in Texas. They were really pounding the baseball. He hit a monster home run. It went 400 feet both ways, up in the air and out. He's now tied for the league lead with Cecil Fielder. 19 home runs each, and Chili Davis there as well.
I think Jose went for the old call when he hit it. I'm trying to remember who it was that used to make the call. Bat boy, come get my bat. Jose knew he had it.
Well, he knew that baby was long gone. He is 8th at RBIs, along with sharing that lead in home runs. For the Oakland A's, this is the first time since May of 1987 that they have been in 5th place in the American League West. This is unusual territory, and they don't like it.
Well, that's the bad news for the A's. The good news is they're in 5th, but only 3.5 games out.
They were in first place on June 15th. Since that time, they have lost 12 of 16 games.
Barfield drops the hook on Canseco. Jose did not pick the spin up on it. Full swing. He's down 0-2 in the count.
Jose's batting only .226 with 4 home runs against left-handers. He's way out in front of that one. Scatters some of his own folks, including Rickey Henderson, down in the dugout.
We told you about the pitching woes of the Oakland A's. They have also played very poor defensively, but one number just absolutely jumps out at you. They have hit 21 3-run homers. This guy had a 3-run shot last night. So not only are they 3rd in the American League in home runs, but with 21 3-run shots, Earl Weaver is sitting somewhere going, yeah, I like that.
That is a foul ball. They are on pace to hit exactly what they hit last season, 163 home runs. They continue at the current pace. So that has not been a downfall for this team. It has been, as we said, primarily the pitching. They've simply got to find some ERA numbers that get them out of the cellar where they are right now in earned run average. Who would ever have bet on that? Not that guy. Believe it or not, worried as much about his all-star selections that he's got to make tomorrow to fill out that roster almost as much as he is about his team. He takes that job very seriously, the all-star manager. Canseco down the right field line. Long way to go for everybody. It'll end up in foul territory. Nobody even close.
I think Tony, you know, he was talking to both of us today, Gary. I think that one of the reasons Tony takes that so seriously is he realizes what an honor it is to make the all-star team. Plus, he also knows a lot of guys have bonuses tied into making the all-star team. He says that each Sunday during the season, he reviews what players have done during the previous week, how they've done the previous month. He looks at a lot of different things, eliminates certain people. He says he finally gets the list down to 36. He and the president of the American League, Bobby Brown, confer, but he says somebody is always going to be unhappy.
He starts at the 3rd week of the season, doing it every single week with a list that he keeps throughout the year through the midpoint as to who he thinks should be considered. 0-2 to Canseco is ripped foul. Look out in the front row.
Well, Barfield has Canseco betwixt and between. Yeah, it hurts when Jose hits it. That's why the third base coach, Rene Latchman, is back in Egypt. He is not in the third base coaching box and never is when Jose Canseco is hitting.
What a shot that was.
Oh, Rene, where are you? The line, Rene, come back.
Canseco, a .286 lifetime hitter in this yard, is going to increase the number right there. There's a base hit off the fist. Wouldn't you know it? He hit that as weakly as he hit anything. After about 3 fouls that were rocket shots, he gets a single. 2 on. John?
Well, he didn't get all of that one, but Joe Carter did. Here against Alan Anderson of the Twins. This with a runner aboard puts the Jays on top 2-0. But Carter wasn't done. June was a great month with 11 home runs. Here's another one for July. This solo shot, number 19 on the year, ties him for the major league lead. Also has 58 runs batted in. The Jays are up 3-0 in the 4th. Back to Gary and Dave.
Toronto just seems to have the number right now of a Minnesota team, which is having itself a little struggle after that great run they had. Runners on at first and second. Wilson at second with a walk. Canseco picking up the single. Now here is Dave Henderson laying off a Scroogey that turns the other way. Ball 1. 1 out. Another all-star. And those are the reasons why. Second in home runs with 18. Barfield to him, and Hindu off the fist fouls it.
Just a week ago tonight, Gary, we were in Minnesota. We were talking about the fact that Toronto Blue Jays played their next 30 games against the American League West, and the West has been so dominant this year. So we kind of speculated Toronto might be in trouble. Since then, they've won 6 of 7 against Western Division foes and looking for 7 out of 8 tonight against Minnesota.
You get the sense they're starting to feel a little good about themselves, starting to believe. Barfield gets him to chase one, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Dave Henderson. Take any of them, but especially April. So not so bad in May either. And overall, a very big season, carrying the ball club early when only he and Harold Baines were hitting.
Dave did sit out last night. He's in the throes of a 2 for 22. So this is the first bad streak he's had all year.
1-2 delivery. He's throwing a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. I asked Bobby Valentine before the game about Barfield, and he says that he throws a fine assortment of pitches, but a great fastball for a left-hander.
He just gets this fastball past Henderson. That ball is already in the glove of Rodriguez by the time Henderson gets the bat through the zone. Barfield tied him up inside with a good heater.
There's a fastball, changeup, slider, and a split-fingered pitch. And a very good move when we have a chance to see it. Valentine says he has a great step move towards first base. Mark McGwire now, 2 on and 2 down, and McGwire hits a towering fly to center. Gonzalez is there on the rainmaker and almost got away from him as he had to reach behind him on that one. No runs, a hit, and one of the A's problems, 2 on. The best batting average in Major League Baseball. Texas Rangers have it right now, 278. For it, Dean Palmer, he's a rookie, leading it off. He'll be in left field. Another Rafael Palmeiro at first base, followed by the switch hitter Ruben Sierra starts in right. Batting cleanup is Julio Franco. He'll start at second base. The DH, Kevin Reimer with power. Center fielder Juan Gonzalez, right-handed hitter. Steve Buechele, great defensive third baseman. And how about this kid, Ivan Rodriguez, a rookie catcher. Batting ninth, the shortstop Jeff Houston.
34-year-old right-hander Dave Stewart, his 11th major league season. 5-4. One of the reasons he's had good offensive support, because his ERA has not been good. The 48 walks, very uncharacteristic of Dave Stewart. That's probably because he knows he hadn't had his real good stuff and has been nibbling a little bit. Terry Steinbach, glad to see him back. He's had a broken nose, was beamed, but he's back in the lineup for the Oakland A's and doing well. Mike Gallego's been moving between second and short. Has hit much better when he's played second base. Mark McGwire's a Gold Glove winner. Mike Bordick, tough kid out of the University of Maine, up Gary Thorne's way, and Vance Law is at third. And the outfield, Willie Wilson spells Ricky in left tonight. Dave Henderson, a good center fielder, and Jose Canseco will be in right.
Big Texas crowd on hand once again, and they loving this kid. One of a couple of rookies who made their this season's debut, at least, here at home for the Rangers. Dean Palmer leading it off, takes it up high, and last night Palmer had himself a night, as he was one of the many to pick up a home run from last night's ball game. Take a look at this kid. That was against Bob Welch, and Welch knew it once he let go of it, and the opposite way, no less. He fouls that one back. So Palmer's off to just a great start.
You see the 11 RBIs. That's in the first week. Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, and I were talking before the game, and Palmer walked by and said hi, and I looked at Dave and said, this guy doesn't know it yet, but it's going to get tougher. It's been a little easy for him the first week.
He has been here before. Bobby Valentine a couple of years ago had Dean Palmer up. Now remember, he's only 22 years old. He struggled on the first occasion here, but even then Bobby Valentine said this is one of the purest swings that I have ever seen in baseball, and he says it's even better since he's done some work at the minor leagues the last 2 years. Credits a lot of his work to Tommy Thompson, who's been his manager for the last 2 seasons. Had him at Double-A, and Thompson also had him at Triple-A.
Don Denkinger rings up the inside strike. That's always a good indication for the pitchers, because pitchers need that inside pitch called. They want to work in, but some umpires don't call it.
Stewie's 2-2 is hit in the air to center field. Dave Henderson's got plenty of time to get under this one. And Palmer is retired, 1 away. Let's check in with John.
We showed you Joe Carter's 19th home run. Well, here's Howard Johnson facing Chris Haney of the Expos. And he sends this one out to left field. Gone for his 19th of the year as well. One of 5 players at 19 home runs as we head towards the All-Star break. 2-0 in the third. Back to you.
Thank you, John. Rafael Palmeiro up here, 5-game hit streak. One of the league leaders in all kinds of categories, and goes after the first pitch. Not a good jump by Wilson, and he's not going to get to it. Through the rain and the muck and the mud, he finds it. And in with a double is Rafael Palmeiro in a 6-game hit streak. '24 doubles, tied for second behind Roberto Alomar in that department.
A little bit of twilight time, but Willie Wilson, we don't see it here, but he gets a very poor jump. He took 1 step back, and that cost him 2 steps. And Wilson slides. You can see the effects of the rainstorms we had this afternoon, but Willie just didn't get a good jump on it.
Not much question about how much rain we had on that one, is there? He's going to need a uniform change when he goes back in. It's very muddy along the skirt of the field and on the warning track. Ruben Sierra, the switch hitter, with a runner at second base. And let's see if Stewart can battle now. He needs some confidence. Stewie's got to find a way to get a couple of big outs, because they've not been coming a lot this season. Sierra hitting .378 right-handed and .315 left-handed. 56 runs batted in. He is third behind Cecil Fielder and Frank Thomas of the White Sox. Out in front of that one to right, Canseco will be called off. Gallego makes the catch. Canseco started the wrong way.
Better bite on the forkball for Dave Stewart that time, and a couple of fastballs to Dean Palmer were clacked at 92 miles an hour. So that's got to be good news for Dave Stewart, Tony La Russa, and his pitching coach Dave Duncan. He's throwing the ball very well in the early going. Watch the bite on the forkball now. This one much better. Stewart's forkball has been rolling a little bit. That one had good bite to it.
Tell how they've been roughing him up. Last season he had the 5th best batting average, only .231 against him. This year the opponents are hitting .282. Right-handers coming into this game batting .299 off him. And he takes up high, trying to back Franco off. You're seeing the numbers that make the middle of this order so impressive. Julio's just 3 hits away from a career mark of 1,500 hits. Boy, you do have some stances in this lineup, don't you, with Sierra and Franco?
They don't do it exactly the way you learn it in the Spalding Guide. Julio Franco with a bat wrapped around his neck, but when you hit 304 out of the last 5 years with power, and especially with men on base, tough out, you don't argue with it. You just say, Julio, keep going, pal.
A .362 lifetime hitter against Dave Stewart. And that'll be fouled off. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 down, runner on at second base.
Let's check out this swing of Franco. You'd think he has a long way to bring the bat, and he does. He does wrap the bat, but he does have good quickness when he comes to the ball. A little late on that 92-mile-an-hour fastball from Stewart. But all Julio does then is adjust, tune up the dial a little bit. Remember, he got the game-winning double in the All-Star game off Rob Dibble last year, so he can hit the fastball.
2 ball, 1 strike count on him. Trying to get the RBI in from second, fouls that back. Stewie has thrown 11 fastballs and 1 forkball split-fingered pitch thus far.
Well, you talk about Stewart and the problems he's had so far, but this is a man who's had a lot of adversity in his career. He is mentally tough, and if anybody can get back in a groove, I'm betting on Dave Stewart.
Boy, he wants it. He is feeling the ineffectiveness of his season right now. 2-2. Palmeiro at second, and Franco fighting him off.
Talk so often about the 300 hitters always have the ability to foul off the real tough pitches. That was probably a ball, but Franco figured close enough to be hacking, but he got a piece of it. The good hitters can foul those pitches off, wait till they can handle something, and then they don't miss it when they get a pitch to handle.
He is 6th in hits, 4th in runs, tied for 6th in steals, and batting .336 at home. That's all for Franco. Stewart misses away on him that time, and the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Palmeiro getting the big lead at second base. No score here in the bottom of the first.
Stu does have the luxury of an open base. He doesn't necessarily have to give in to Franco and groove something here. Let's see how he works him 3-2.
Franco 1 hit in his last 9 at-bats. The 3-2 to him, and he was out in front of it, but fouled it off.
Well, Stewart must have had good motion because he really hangs a forkball here, but Franco probably sitting on fastball 3-2 was a little bit out in front, but that was not good location by Dave Stewart.
If they can keep it alive, Reimer's waiting on deck. Full house here last night with Nolan Ryan pitching. They will not have a full house tonight in Texas, but they'll have a very big crowd for this one, and a full house tomorrow. Fouled off again. The Oakland A's in here for 4 of the 6 they'll play on the road before the All-Star break.
Rangers go over $1 million tonight, earliest in their history. They are up about 6,700 fans a game this year. Last year they had the miserable month of May, were 13 out and never really got righted, although they did play well the second half of the year. But the Texas Rangers go over the $1 million mark tonight.
They're looking for about 2.3 million if it continues this way, and maybe even more if they stay in the race or are the race. 3-2, runner at second, 2 away. Stewart knocks it down in self-defense and makes the play and gets Franco. So they get a double by Palmeiro, but he's left on at second base. No score from Texas after 1. Largely thanks to Dave Stewart. Stewie helping himself out. The line shot right back at him. He is all right. He got all of it with the glove.
2 things about feeling your position. 1, it obviously helps your defense, and number 2, in that case, sometimes saves your life. Dave Stewart squared off very well, made the play at a bullet right back at his forehead. So Dave Stewart squares up, and that really helped him in that situation.
Terry Steinbach against the left-hander. First ball hitting outside of first base and probably in the seats. That's where it'll end up. Steinbach 0 for his last 7, but prior to that he had been a red-hot hitter. He had a 9-game hit streak. Last couple of ball games, though, has not been able to pick up a base hit.
I had Barfield in a game Friday night, California Angels against Texas, and he was throwing nowhere near as well as he is tonight. Fastball looks about 5 miles an hour quicker. He's spotting it very well. He had a tough night against the Angels last Friday.
We said he's primarily a reliever. This is going to be his 6th start of the season. No decision in that outing against the California Angels, but he wasn't in it for very long either. 2 1/3 innings, 4 runs on 6 hits in that game. Laced to left field. Palmer backing up. He went the wrong way on the ball. And going to second, Steinbach, and he'll chug in with a stand-up double. We haven't seen an outfielder breaking the ball right yet.
Can't really figure it out. This is not a multi-tiered stadium. Sometimes a place like Yankee Stadium with all the tiers, outfielders have trouble getting a read, and it's not quite dark enough to be considered twilight yet. Hanging breaking ball. Palmer took 1 step in, and you see him, and Dean beating a hasty retreat now. If he had gotten a great jump on it, he would have had a chance. But as Gary said, 3rd outfielder that has misread a ball off the bat.
Need your waiters out there tonight. Steinbach's out of the offer as he picks up the double.
You know, in the old days when the players had to buy their own shoes, These kind of nights you'd go, oh, geez, this is going to cost me about 40 or 50 bucks. Now they all have about 20 pair in their locker. They could care less. They change every inning and throw them in the trash can afterwards.
Isn't that disgusting?
They all have shoe contracts now.
Vance Law, I've always thought, and you're not kidding when you say 20 pair, the stars, the Cansecos, the McGuires, and this is not just to pick them up, but all the stars, they have 20 or 30 pairs of shoes in their locker. They are just piled up. I've always thought the shoe companies, why not, if they're going to do that, why don't they just give it to some kids somewhere playing in some inner city league that needs some help instead of giving these guys 20 pair of shoes. Pudge Rodriguez, the catcher, got up as though he may have pulled a muscle a little bit there, and he's going to try and walk it off. He kind of jumped up out of the crouch. I don't think anything serious, but enough so he wanted to make his way out there. 19 years old.
Unbelievable. He makes his debut in front of the home crowd last night, catching 44-year-old Nolan Ryan. Goes out and gets 4 hits, catches a perfect game. Not in the essence of a perfect game by Nolan Ryan, but he catches a great game. This kid is just not odd, hitting .422 since he came up.
Law looking to bunt, lays down a good one. They got to play it third. Barfield goes there. Great throw, and he got him. Steinbach is out.
Well, we talked about jumps, and Terry Steinbach did not get a good jump off second. I don't know if Law was sacrifice bunting or bunting on his own. Vance squares around, and you don't even see Steinbach in the picture yet. A very poor jump off second base. Perfect throw by Barfield right into Buechele, who puts the tag on. That's a fielder's choice. It goes 1-5, and Steinbach did not get a good jump off second base.
You know where that ball was bunted when you got a left-handed pitcher on the mound. That's perfectly placed for a left-handed pitcher to make the play to third. He's looking right at the bag. You got to get him turned around a little bit or keep it away from him, but not successful. So Laws at first, one away, and here is Mike Gallego. It's a big out right there. You get a leadoff double, and then you have that lead runner taken out. You get the out, and you put the runner, instead of at second or third, he's at first.
Keep talking about Rodriguez as we look at Vance Law taking his lead. He's got the gloves in his hand, kind of an unusual way of doing it.
And leaving it up 1-1.
But Rodriguez, the 19-year-old catcher, between Tulsa and the big leagues, he has thrown out 66.0% this year. Everything about this young man, everything you read is brilliant except for one little thing that I saw in the bio. He's hurt his shoulder each of the last 2 years, so that's got to be a little bit of a concern, but it's very healthy right now.
He has an absolute cannon for an arm. Moved to first base by Barfield. Remember, he's got a good one. Law not particularly fast. With one down, it's the double play that's being kept in order right here. There you see what he has done, throwing people out, granted limited opportunities thus far. That one chopped right back to the mound. Barfield is short. Jeff Houston to first. A lead-off double. No runs, not even anyone left on. Kevin Reimer with good power. 3 home runs, 23 RBIs, and a very solid .281 batting average. He's had 8 hits in his last 26 at-bats. And he pops up Stewart's pitch towards the line in left. Look out, everybody. Bordick! Oh, the shortstop had the chance, but it's over that home plate area and mound out there in the bullpen. No dice.
Bordick gives it a good run, and when you're getting near that bullpen, you start going up that hill. You see Bordick looking down. He knows, he feels he's close to that, going up that hill, and that can really make your head move, and just barely misses. Good effort, though, by the young shortstop.
Always felt if there's any way to get those bullpens out of that kind of playing field situation, they should be. We've seen more people take just headfirst crawling dives trying to go over those mounds. 0-2 to Reimer.
Mr. Stewart's arm certainly not feeling any of the effects of some of the problems he's had. 92 miles an hour, right in his range when he's been a great pitcher.
0-2 delivery to Reimer, misses. They've said that ever since he came back from the injury, as before, there's been no trouble with the velocity on the fastball, but it's not enough. If you can't get that split-fingered forkball pitch in, you'll be hit with a fastball, and that's what's happened to him. Nice stop, Mark McGuire. Stewart covers, and Reimer is one out in the second. John?
We told you Joe Carter had 2 home runs. Then Devon White hit a home run. Next batter was Roberto Alomar, and Alan Anderson plunks him. Alomar has a few words. Catcher gets in there. Jim Joyce, the home plate umpire, tosses Anderson from the game. He's been replaced by Mark Guthrie. No damage. It's 3-0. Back to Gary and Dave.
They're just heating up for the second half of the season.
The dog days of August are here in July.
Here is Juan Gonzalez, another one of the young players the Texas Rangers are so high on. And Gonzalez will take it up high. This is yet another one of the hitters to enter this lineup for the Texas Rangers. 1 for 9 in his last 3 games. It has been a bit of a struggle over the last dozen contests, but he's had a very solid season. Mark McGuire near the Texas dugout will not have a play. It's off the top.
One of the things Dave Stewart is doing very well in the early part of this game is pounding inside. He did it to Dean Palmer leading off the ball game. He came in 2 or 3 times on Julio Franco. All these good hitters like to get their arms extended, the ball out away from him, and Stewart is just pounding inside. You see where Steinbach is set up, and Don Denkinger showed early on he was going to call that pitch. So Dave Stewart is working in tonight.
See this perspiration. Stewie's got the undershirt on anyway, though. It is warm here tonight, 86 degrees. Temperature has actually gone up a little bit since we started the game. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Nobody on, no score. Bottom of the second. And a pop-up again and again. Mark McGuire near the tarpaulin. Plenty of room. And he puts it away. And the all-star first baseman makes the catch for the second out.
Not as far in, but still in. And Gonzalez could not get the arms extended. So Dave Stewart looking very strong in the early portion of this game tonight.
And with 2 down, nobody on, it will bring up Steve Buechele. A lot of people wondered about Dave Stewart and all the innings that he has pitched. This guy has had 20 or more wins 4 consecutive years. Last guy to do that was Jim Palmer. Catfish Hunter, the last one to do it 5 seasons. Stewie's not going to reach it this year unless he has some kind of a miracle finish. He's not going to get probably more than 30-31 starts. Missed 4 or 5 as a result of that injury that kept him out. Since coming over to the Oakland A, Stewart had never missed a start over the last 4 years. That's how durable he's been. 267 innings worked last year. And that's something else that Stewart's done. He has piled up just a ton of innings. He's pitched over 200 innings in all 4 years with the A's. Last season's 267, second highest. 88, he had 275 and 2/3 innings. A lot of work. 1-1 delivery. Good pitch.
Somebody asked Dave Stewart what his philosophy of pitching was one time, and he says, when I go out there, I believe that every day I go out there is my day. Doesn't matter if I'm going bad or not. I know that today is going to be the day that I turn it around.
Well, he means it. 2 down. A 1-2 delivery to Buechele is fouled back.
I heard you talking with Tony La Russa in that Sports Center interview, and Tony said that Stu and Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, had a number of excellent sessions lately, and it appears whatever Stewart's problems have been, he may have straightened them out.
Boy, do they ever hope so. 94 miles an hour in that last pitch. 1-2 delivery. Buechele is gone, and Stewie does a 360 on the mound. He's feeling good right now. He's got a feeling it may be back. No score here as we go to the top half of the 3rd inning. It'll be Bordick batting 9th and Ricky Henderson and Wilson. Told you about these Texas Rangers and where they are. If they can get a win tonight, they will have tied their best record in franchise history for 73 games. They are 41 and 36 going into the 41 and 32 rather. Going into tonight's game if they come away with that victory tonight. And they have not done that since 1976 and 1989, twice before. So these guys are off to a great start. Bobby Valentine's really excited about this club, and justifiably so. They did not get a lot of preseason good publicity. Here is Bordick out of a little place called Hamden, Maine, up by the University of Maine in Orono, Maine. where he played his college baseball under Dr. John Winken. Billy Swift also, the major league level, worked out of that same university. There's Bobby V, 41 years old, 7th season for the Rangers as their skipper.
No naps, Bobby. We caught you once this year.
2-0 delivery, and Bordick goes to right. That's where they were playing. Sierra's right there. Bordick's out, one away in the 3rd. Let's check in with John.
Braves and the Reds, 5-2 in the 6th inning. The Braves on top, and Avery serves this one up to Joe Oliver with 2 aboard. The 3-run home run ties the game at 5 apiece. The Reds have hit 15 home runs in their last 8 games. Trying to catch the Dodgers, tied at 5 in the 6th. Get it back to Gary and Dave.
And great to have you with us here in Texas at Arlington Stadium. Gary Thorne, Dave Campbell on ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball. No score here. Pitchers matchup right now. Ricky Henderson grounded out his first time up. 8-game hit streak for Ricky, and he's fooled by the left-hander Barfield.
Ricky very rarely swings at the first pitch. 90% of the time he took the first pitch last year, and he's probably thinking, maybe I should have taken that one. Pauls Valley loves Ricky. Where's Pauls Valley? Are you a Texas geography major here?
Don't know that one. Pauls Valley is Oklahoma, according to Ken Fouts, our erstwhile geographical director.
Well, you know what they call Texas in Oklahoma, don't you? At least if you believe Dan Jenkins, it's Baja, Oklahoma. That was one of the great books.
You read it in paperback.
It did indeed. It did indeed. Of course. I'm cheap.
Reading Howard Cosell's book. Have you read Howard's?
No, I've not. Certainly wish him well. Hope
yes.
He had surgery yesterday, and I think everybody wishes him well.
Hospitalized for it, and hope he comes along. And if you haven't read his latest book, you like sports, business of sports, and the corruption of sports, it's a very good read. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Ricky, during his hit streak now, 8 hits in his last 28 at-bats. Barfield staying inside on him, misses with that one. 2-2.
One of the interesting books going around some of the major league clubhouses now is Marvin Miller's book. When he took over the Players Association in 1967, the average major league salary was $27,000. It is now $891,000. The man that the owners still curse in each meeting they have.
Revolutionized all of sports, putting baseball out in front in that department. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Watching the ball game last night, watching Ricky play. I went down, set behind home plate final 3 innings last night. I'll tell you, I don't know if there's a more confident baseball player around. If there is, I don't know who it is. And I don't know of a hitter who gets 2 strikes on him who makes it any tougher on a pitcher than Ricky Henderson. 2-2, check swing towards 3rd. Buechele, knowing the speed, makes the running throw, and a good one. And there are 2 down. Sunday night here on ESPN. Don't forget, you will see the Cubs and the Cardinals. You will not see Ryne Sandberg. He is injured and out. You will see Ozzie Smith. He is in. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, 8 o'clock. St. Louis, one of the surprise teams, and so are the Chicago Cubs, but for different reasons. Did you see that play last night where Sandberg got hit?
Yeah.
Wow.
Looked like he had the base stolen, all of a sudden just put the hand up as a reflex to protect his helmet, sliding into second, and boom, he got nailed.
And Jose Lean, the shortstop, took the ball right smack between the eyes as it bounced off the wrist. Willie Wilson, who drew a walk his first time up, the switch hitter, 6 hits in his last 15 at-bats. 0-1 to him by Barfield is fouled off.
Good addition to this club, Willie Wilson. When the A's elected not to re-sign Willie McGee, who went across town to the Giants and ended up with $13 million, they got Willie Wilson for 2 years at $800,000, which to me is a lot of money, folks, but in this day and age, kind of the average salary.
0-2 the count, no score. Here in the top half of the 3rd inning. And away to Wilson. Speaking of away, Oakland A's won 52 games on the road last season. They are 16-22 on the road this year. Just one of the many numbers adding up to a season of first half disappointments. But if you think this ball club is down, forget it. They are as confident right now that they're going to win the West as they probably were last year when they did.
They basically are saying, hey, you know we have ugly numbers, but we don't look bad. We look forward. We see positive things. We think Stewart's back on the beam. They think their bullpen is rounding slowly into shape. They had 3 of their top performers on the shelf for nearly half the season.
Sierra. 1-2-3 inning. Well, Barfield getting the job done, retires the side in order here in the third. No score with the Rangers coming up.
ESPN Major League Baseball is brought to you by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this. And by Pizza Hut, home of the incredible Picnic Pairs deal. Pizza Hut, making it great.
Gary Thorne and Dave Campbell and Ivan Rodriguez. The second coming of Pudge. 19 years old, and he's going to be around for a long time. Stewie recognizes that and backs him off the plate.
And Mr. Rodriguez went 3 for 3 against Dave Stewart last week in Oakland. So Dave says, enough of that, young man. I'm going to get you off the plate. Just a little message.
Out of Puerto Rico. Not on the 40-man roster. Will be as quickly as they can get him there. Signed as a free agent. Played winter ball last season. Has a couple of seasons of minor league baseball behind him now, including what he played this year. 2-0 delivery to him, and Rodriguez fouls it off.
Now, one thing about Ivan, he is a typical hitter from the Caribbean. 45 at bats so far this year, and no walks, as they say down there in Puerto Rico and in the Dominican Republic. You cannot walk off the island. Swing the bat, young men, and that's the way they're raised, and they do go to hacking.
2-1 pitch, foul back. And as we've said so often, so many of the ball players out of that area have come up to play shortstop at the major league level. I asked Bobby Valentine about that, and he says, you take a look just at our minor league system. They have learned quickly. There are lots of other positions, and catchers one where they got a chance to make it in a hurry. There are lots of catchers coming out of the Caribbean now, whereas before we saw mostly middle infielders. 2-2 the count, Audie. And Rodriguez takes it full.
A number of managers talked about this in kind of a roundtable discussion a couple of years ago, and they said that all the great young catchers probably were going to start coming from Latin America. The role models of Benito Santiago, Tony Peña, Sandy Alomar Jr. That's one of the reasons, and some other managers had some other insights. We'll give them to you in a second.
Stewie with a 3-2 delivery to Rodriguez, and he gets the pop-up out the fist to first. McGuire's there, and boy, he's getting that done. As you said, Dave, he's coming inside. Let's check in with John.
Red Sox chasing Toronto 4.5 games back in Milwaukee. First inning, tough inning for Don August. The breaking ball, Ellis Burks rips it to the gap in left center field. Mo Vaughn comes in to score. Mike Greenwell follows him. The Red Sox get 5 runs in the first and lead it now 5-0 in the third. That's the Gary and Dave.
No score here. Bottom of the third inning. Couple of hits for Oakland, 1 for the Rangers. Stewart will work now to Jeff Houston, the number 9 hitter, but posting some better than number 9 numbers. 7 hits in his last 21 at-bats, even though his overall average is just 209. 0 for 3 lifetime against Dave Stewart. Off-speed pitches in, 1-1.
Some of the guys who had comments, Buck Rogers, of course, a former catcher and a major league manager with the Montreal Expos, who said it's a societal thing. Mom and dads don't want their kids hurt, especially if the kid is a good athlete. So a lot of the U.S. kids don't get behind the plate because, hey, you get hurt when you're a catcher. Doug Rader, he said few kids are willing to work hard enough to be good catchers. That is not a problem with the Latin American kids. They are not afraid of work.
Well, for a lot of them, that's not only a dream. It's a dream about how to make a living. A good one. And they do. 2-ball, 1-strike count. He, like Buechele, playing some really good defense. He's only had 1 error in his last 34 games. Tough, hard-nosed, somebody always taking his job away player. Has constantly been on the trading block discussion arena, but stays and plays. Even though that average is not there very high, he's an outstanding player to have around, and he'll go through some good streaks with you. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 down and nobody on here in the third.
Studis gets behind 3-1 and said, Mr. Houston, here's my best fastball. Hit it if you can. And Jeff, even though he likes the ball down, could not catch up with that heater.
Stewart with a 3-2 delivery, and Houston fouls it back.
It's a little discouraging as a hitter. Jeff Houston barely hitting above 200. He gets a 3-1 pitch right in the wheelhouse, right where he wants it, and does not even make contact. And having done that many times in my life, you start going, wait a minute. If I can't hit that pitch, I am in big trouble tonight against this guy.
He's a .234 lifetime hitter, 26 years old. Behind the pitch on that one, fouls it off. Houston's been around minor leagues, major leagues, with Montreal for a few games, 20 games back in '88, '89, 32 games, and over to Texas, where he played last season in 145 games regular. And he's fighting off Dave Stewart's 3-2 deliveries right now. One more time. And one more time.
Well, I'm sure the book in the Oakland clubhouse on Jeff Houston is don't walk him. Houston only has one major league home run. Those are the kind of guys you got to earn their way on. Dave Stewart's just going to challenge him with fastballs.
3-2 delivery to him to left center field. Pretty good wood. The Henderson's back. This is Wilson, rather, who hauls it in. Ricky's DHing. So Willie's in the outfield. Now, he did get a pretty good break on that ball. And there are 2 down.
Jeff Houston last year, the second half of the season, only had 8 extra base hits. So, again, indicative of why Stewart was just going to challenge him there, make him hit his way aboard.
Here is Dean Palmer. The fans got another look at last night. First 3-hit game in the majors. 3 RBIs, third time in 7 games that he's done that. And an interesting note, Texas Rangers PR, that he leads all professional baseball with 24 homers. Dave was talking about that with the 22 at Oklahoma City and some here. 25. Up 2 down.
22 and 3. Let's see.
Still is 25, isn't it? That note wasn't as interesting as I thought.
Let me go get the calculator here. I'm not sure.
Here's the 1-1. Foul back, a ball and 2 strikes.
Hey, he's hitting them so fast we can't keep up with it.
He was .299 at AAA along with those 22 homers and 59 RBIs in 60 games. One-two delivery by Stewart is inside, where he spent a lot of time tonight and successfully thus far. 2-2.
Good movement on that fastball, tailing in. Stu will turn it over. He's also been throwing the cross-seamer in there. He's really got an idea tonight.
2-2 delivery, and Palmer a chopper. Stewie will run it halfway over, the underhand flip, and he's got himself a 1-2-3 inning. And Dave Stewart has now retired the last 8 Rangers he's faced.
The Indians, the first major league team to hit 50 losses, and they picked up Denis Boucher from Toronto in that trade for Candiati. He's pitching tonight. They also picked up Mark Whitten, but Whitten on a new team loses his conversation with Baerga, and the ball drops in. That's one reason you wind up with 50 losses. Meantime, here's how the defense is done well. Tigers and the Orioles. Rob Deere at the plate. Mike Flanagan with the delivery. This is base hit all over, but Joe Orsulak comes out of nowhere to make the grab and slide to end the inning. Detroit leading Baltimore, though, 6-2 now in the 9th inning. Back to Gary and Dave.
Thank you, John. Here at Texas, the 3-inning line. Barfield has walked 1, struck out 1. Stewart has a strikeout, hasn't walked anybody. The double by Palmeiro in the first inning. He was left stranded, the only Texas base runner left. The A's got a couple on in the first. They left them. And Jose Canseco takes it in for a strike. Canseco, Henderson, and McGuire. Barfield has been impressive here in this his 6th start thus far. Off-speed pitch at Canseco, falling over the plate. 0-2.
Reggie Jackson, who is a part-time coach with the A's. Hey, they like their guys here, huh? Reggie Jackson, a part-time coach and broadcaster with the A's, was talking about Canseco and his ability to keep what's been happening off the field and keep it away from what's going on in the field. And Canseco, 10 home runs his last 21 games, has really been focusing on the job at hand right now.
I'd like to get those left-handers going. He hit over 270 against them last season, but as we mentioned, down to 226 here against left-handers this year. They apparently have found a hole
course, Canseco and Reggie Jackson. I read a quote last year from Dave Anderson, the great columnist for the New York Times. He says, having Reggie Jackson consult Canseco about handling his emotions is like having Mount Vesuvius talk to Mount Etna and talk about exploding without spilling too much lava.
Don't count on it. Here's the 1-2, and that's a fair ball. Buechele with a long throw. Gets it there, pulled down by Palmeiro. One away as Dave Henderson heads up.
And how did Mr. Barfield pitch Mr. Henderson last time? Very quickly. Breaking ball away for a ball. Fouled off a pitch pretty much in the middle of the plate. Fastball in. And good night. Another fastball in. Tied him up. Was over 90 miles an hour. Henderson could not get the arms extended.
Dave Henderson has struck out only 49 times this season. That's a very good number for someone who hits with the power that he does. He's also drawn 33 walks to go along with that big average coming into tonight's game. Over that 300 mark, and has been up among the top 10 most of the season as far as hitters are concerned. And he rips that one. That is a fair ball into the corner. Palmer over to get it. Dave Henderson makes the turn. He'll go into second base for the stand-up double. That is going to be the second two-bagger and third hit of the game off Barfield.
Well, Dave, cracking out of a 2 for 23, said, that's what I needed to do. Get that bat head out. Barfield tries to come in, gets too much of the middle of the plate. Henderson gets the bat head out. That ball fair by about a foot. Third base umpire Tim McClellan watches. It did not hit that glove. Had it, probably would have been a double anyway. The umpire has the ability to rule where he thinks the runner would have ended up if the fan touches the ball in that situation.
Another RBI opportunity, and McGuire up. Runner at second and one out, no score. Mark McGuire missed his first game last night. A rather severe inner ear infection that he had to have drained. He was a question to play in tonight's game, but they need him in there. He's hit some home runs here in this ballpark. 245 lifetime average here, but 10 home runs in Texas. Barfield with the 0-1 delivery to him up high.
Mark got off the plane after Oakland's flight here Monday night and was really having trouble with his equilibrium. Ears got plugged up on the flight, had to have the ear drained, and he said he was really reeling yesterday, if that's not too redundant. He said he just could not keep his balance. Really reeling. Hey, that's good. I like that.
Let's not be admiring our own work here. It's bounce. Good stop made by Rodriguez. 2 balls and 1 strike with Henderson on at second base.
From the Department of Redundancy Department.
Calls being made by the coaching staff of the Texas Rangers. That's why you see Rodriguez looking over for the signs, what they want Barfield to throw. Understandably so for the 19-year-old as he finds his way around behind the plate. 2-1 the count. One away. McGuire, center field. Back on it, Gonzalez. Tagging at second, Henderson. Gonzalez puts it away. Henderson's going to make the try and will get in standing, but there are now 2 down. Bill McGuire twice has flied out into that center field sky, and boy, there's a lot of light and a lot of distance looking up at those high clouds with the sunset leading some pretty yellow and orange light up there off those clouds. It's cleared up a good deal since we started the game. Terry Steinbach now with 2 down. He's batting .229 with runners in scoring position, and you are seeing some of the difficulties the A's have had this season, unlike last year's, coming up with big hits.
Well, you see Terry's numbers for men in scoring position, .229, but if you talk to the Oakland A's coaching staff, they will tell you over the last 4 years, this has been the man who has been their best clutch hitter consistently.
They need him right here. Terry Steinbach, no score, 2 down, a runner on at third base. Left field, it is deep, and it is foul. A mighty happy fan. Oh, 1 the count on Steinbach. say in this game you get only one good swing for each at bat. Was that his? Barfield out of the full windup. No, it isn't. It's right at Bouchel. So Barfield dodges the bullet on that one. No runs, a base hit, a base runner left on. 3 left on now for the A's. There is proof that Vincent Van Gogh did go to heaven.
Oh, I knew. You know, Kenny Fouts, our director, kept saying, Thorne, you better say something about this beautiful shot of the sky, and you did come up with a jewel.
He's trying to shut him up. Line drive towards center field. Dave Henderson is there, and there's one away. Palmeiro, who had doubled his first time up.
Well, is Stu going with the fastball, the forkball? Check the breakdown. 37 out of 50, probably about 10 forkballs. He's thrown a couple of curves or sliders or slurs. And the 93-plus Dave Stewart is, at least tonight, back to the Dave Stewart we remember.
He's acting that way. He's really excited about the way he's pitching right now.
He's got the death stare going again.
Yeah, he's got it. He's looking in, saying, come on, baby. You thought I was gone. Think again. He's retired 9 in a row now as he faces Sierra, who flied out. Palmeiro had that hit in the first inning when he picked up the double, the only hit of Stewart. Ruben Sierra batting 3-32. Not going to catch up with that one. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He played against a guy that had that same kind of stare as Dave Stewart. His name was Don Wilson. Unfortunately, he passed away in a tragic accident. But Don Wilson had that same kind of mental makeup. I'm coming at you. You're going to have to beat me.
Off-speed pitch is fouled back, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Well, among the top 10 hitters, we've got him in this game. Sierra 3rd behind Ripken and Molitor. Terrell Baines, not playing tonight for Oakland, is 5th. Julio Franco is playing, and he's 8th. And Rafael Palmeiro is 10th.
Yeah, but you forgot baseball axiom number 1.
1-2. That is
good pitching. Always stops good hitting.
Dave Stewart's out to prove that.
Yeah, see the Cincinnati Reds World Series 1990, if you have any doubts about that.
And that is a concern of the Texas Rangers in all seriousness. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The delivery to Sierra is tapped towards short. Bordick's got it, makes the running throw, and McGuire makes the nice pick. 2 down. John?
Indians and Yankees in Scott Kamenicki with a 3-0 lead facing Albert Bell, who spent the time in the minor leagues but has come back with a vengeance. Straightaway center field. Roberto Kelly gives it a look, but it's backing off the wall, trying to find the monuments out there. Just the second hit by the Indians. 3-1 now in the 7th.
Boy, what a struggle. Cleveland Indians, they move the fences back. They're going to be a running and defensive team. It already has changed. Stewie's pitch is lined to center field, so after retiring 10 in a row, Franco comes through with a base hit here in the 4th inning with 2 down. He's on for Reimer.
Let's see how Franco attacks this forkball. Goes out, cooled a little bit, but stays with it, and does not try to pull the ball. Wraps it right back up through the middle. Julio Franco utilizes all fields. You look at his hitting chart. Last couple of years, about 28% to left, divided equally the rest of the way between center and right.
Reimer grounded out his first time up, has hit safely in 7 of his last 8 games. He's going to try and keep a 2-out rally going here for the Rangers. He has power. The open stance will pull the ball. Stewart with 2 down and a 1-0 count. The elastic pitch, and he was way out in front of it.
Stu a little bit slow in the delivery to the plate. Julio Franco will run. He's had a little bit of a hamstring, but stole a base last night. Don't be surprised if Franco, with 2 down, tries to swipe the base here.
He is 8th in stolen bases with 16. Been caught 5 times. Bobby Valentine saying before the game, as they head to the All-Star break, he's got some people who have struggled with some physical problems but have kept playing. Franco and Sierra both have had hamstring problems, which have slowed them down a bit. And Steve Buechele's got a knee problem, but continues to play a great third base.
Tony La Russa very good at reading base runners. Franco made a little false break to second base. Let's see if maybe the A's pitch out here.
Reimer at the plate with a 1-1 count, 2 down. And that's slapped to third. Great catch by Law. As Jerry Coleman would say, hang a star on that one, baby. And in Major League Baseball, when you make a great defensive play, you get to lead off the next inning, at least.
How many times have I got to tell you? At least once out of 9 times.
I left the door open.
Well, I know, but I mean, you know.
Here's Vance Law. I'm telling you, there's more to it than that.
They actually wanted to do a statistical study one time, but unfortunately, there were not enough stars on the score sheet to figure out when they were great plays.
That would be the first argument. No argument on the one Law made, though, to end the inning. Barfield got him to hit into a forced play on a bunt as Barfield made a good play on Law to get Terry Steinbach at third. And Law tried to move him around in the second inning. That's about the best scoring opportunity the A's have had. A leadoff double in the second by Steinbach, but he was out of there in the play at third, and then they had a double play, and Barfield faced only 3 in the inning. Ground to the third. Ooh, Buechele. Sweet stuff.
Buechele's playing out his last year with the Texas Rangers, eligible to be a free agent. Some talk has been that the Rangers will use Buechele to try to trade for a pitcher. He is a magnificent defensive third baseman. This ball takes a very crazy hop, stays down on him, but Buechele still makes the play. Dean Palmer is a third baseman by trade, the 22-year-old left fielder, but Rangers, maybe they could get the right guy, might deal Buechele, but he's having a terrific year.
Barfield with one away with a little help from his friends in the field, and he's got Mike Gallego up, missing with that one, 1-0.
The deal that would make sense would be Buechele to Cleveland for Greg Swindell, which would really help Texas in their pitching problems. Then you trade Jacoby to Pittsburgh, who may need a third baseman, depending on whether Jeff King's back is okay. Reports have been better lately, but those things make too much sense. Both of those players, Buechele and Swindell, in the final year of their contract.
Well, I would not give up Swindell. Here's the 2-0. Fouled off.
Well, it's not as though the Indians are going to win it next year with it.
No, but they'll lose a lot more. And I'm not sure they get in return what's going to help them out in the long run. So you can call in at
1-800.
No, you can't. Two
Let's
balls,
make
one
a trade.
Yeah. And Gallego off the glove. Jeff Houston wide of the mark. You score that one.
Base hit. Great play by Houston. Terrific effort to get the ball. And for the Oakland A's, they have base hit number 4 on the evening.
So with 1 down, Gallego is on.
Houston does a 360, and anytime it requires an extraordinary effort to get the man, you can't punish the defender. And Houston gets the ship righted, but the throw a little bit offline. Can't imagine when that infielder is making the 360, when you turn, you see the runner coming down the line, you see the first base coach, the first baseman, and the umpire, and you have to try to pick out a target where that first baseman is moving to cover the bag. It can really make you a little dizzy.
In a hurry. Mike Bordick flied to right his first time up. Quick throw to first base on that step move by Barfield. That's the one Valentine was talking about before the game. Gallego has to dive back in. With no score here. Oakland 4 hits. The Rangers have 2. 1 away.
Wouldn't be a straight steal with Gallego. He's only 3 out of 9, and with Barfield having the good move, Mike will not be trying a straight steal. Maybe if the count gets favorable to Bordick, La Russa may put a hit and run on, hoping Mike can hit a ground ball and advance Gallego down to scoring position. But then again, remember, there's not quite as much strategy in this league. And I say it, and it's true.
Up high, quick throw. Close play. There you see the arm of Rodriguez. Well, the 19-year-old's got no qualms about gunning the ball down to first base, and Gallego will remember that throw.
Well, he doesn't do it from the knees like Benito Santiago, but he is cat quick and really unloads it, and Gallego just gets back in. I'll tell you, as a base runner who was pretty aggressive, and that was one of the things I did better in the game, catchers like Rodriguez, and when I was playing, guys like Johnny Bench and Steve Yeager, cut down a lot of your aggressiveness. You didn't want to take those aggressive leads with those guys ready to cock the cannon.
Is he exciting behind the plate? Bordick takes it up high, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes on Bordick. Bordick has had only 12 at-bats, major leagues this season. This is only his 4th start. Walt Weiss, of course, injured and out of there, opening the hole up for Bordick to get some playing time at short and second. The 2-0, and that's a strike taken, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Final score there with the Tigers picking up the victory over Baltimore 8-2 as that pitching staff of the Orioles continues to struggle, and the Tigers, when they're on, can pound it out.
Maybe hit and run here. The count is favorable, 2-1, and back to first base goes Gallego. All Tony La Russa wants Bordick to do, if he puts the hit and run on, is hit a ball on the ground to get Gallego to second. A base hit is a bonus, but he wants to get him down there for Ricky Henderson, get him in scoring position.
No score. Top of the 5th inning. Tony up and off the bench and looking. 2-1 runner goes. Hit and run on and fouled off as Bordick trying to take it to right. Pitch up high that he tried to climb on. And Gallego will go back to first base.
Yeah, a lot of fans think that the hit and run play is a play designed to really create a lot of holes and get a base hit. That's one of the side benefits of the hit and run. But most times when the manager puts it on, he is trying to advance a runner, a guy who normally doesn't steal bases. In that case, he just wants to get Gallego to second, and a base hit is a bonus.
Gallego has 3 stolen bases, but he's been caught 6 times. Oh, it's a minus 50%. Here's the 2-2 to Bordick. He jammed him. He wanted the call and does not get it. And the count will move up to 3-2.
We'll get a second look. Bordick starts. Breaking ball clearly inside. Bordick holds up. Gallego will definitely run here. Again, La Russa, figuring Bordick can put it in play, is going to try to get Gallego as far as second.
1 out. 3-2 delivery. Runner goes. That one's laced. They weren't playing him there. Bordick hit it harder than they thought he could. Making the turn, Gallego. Palmer will relay it into the infield. Jeff Houston, no chance to go to the plate. A stand-up RBI double for Mike Bordick, and the A's have a 1-0 lead.
Well, it might figure with all the great offensive stars in this game tonight, and as you look through the offensive statistics of the American League prior to tonight, you're not going to find Mike Bordick listed anywhere, but he gets the key hit. You see Gallego, he makes sure the pitch comes to the plate, and Bordick, looking fastball, rips one into the corner, and because Gallego was moving, he is able to score on the play. So Mike puts the head down. He knows he's coming. Latchman's got him coming all the way.
For Mike Bordick, that is his first RBI of the season. And that'll put him on the board, and that is his first major league RBI. Bordick played in 25 games last season, but picked up only 1 hit in 14 at-bats. A defensive replacement primarily, so there's one to remember for him, and he's on at second base with Ricky Henderson up, who's 0 for 2.
Just a small point, but a lot of major league managers and pitching coaches will tell you the 2 most important pitches are strike 1, and then when the count goes 2-2, throw a strike there, because too many things happen 3-2. You start runners a lot more 3-2, and you do 2-2. And Barfield went 3-2 against a weak hitter. Bordick was sitting all over fastball.
Ricky takes the pitch in, and Barfield goes ahead of him. No balls and 2 strikes. 8-game hit streak on the line for Ricky Henderson, batting at .279 right now. He has been such an incredible hitter here, though. .417 batting average over the last 2 seasons in Texas. He's got an RBI opportunity. The runners in scoring position this season. Henderson's batting at .268. 0-2, 1 away. Barfield, breaking ball towards short. Jeff Houston bobbles it. It'll be an error. Bordick has to stay at second base. And he knows that's one I got to have. Was it the speed of Ricky Henderson?
Well, the key is to try to watch the eyes of Houston to see if he takes it off, his eyes off it. He did not. He tried to watch the ball into the glove. It just took a little bit of a carom, and he wasn't able to handle it. Has he got his eyes glued right on it? Yes. He had his head right down. Sometimes it just happens. The ball came up a little bit, kicked off the heel of his glove. pitching coach Tom House is going to come out and have a little visit with Barfield. Only his second error in the last 35 games for Jeff Houston.
7 on the season for him now. Barfield getting into that territory where he is suspect. They will get the bullpen warming up here. Remember, this is not a starter. He's used to working about 3 innings in a ball game in long relief. So here in a 1-0 game, Bobby Valentine has to be careful. He does not want this game to get out of hand at all. There's another former starter, now reliever, Cal Schiraldi. 1 away. Runners at first and second. Bordick at second. Ricky Henderson at first. And here is Wilson. And he slaps it towards short. Jeff Houston goes to third. Buechele takes it, and they get the lead runner. 2 down.
Very heads-up play by Jeff Houston. No chance for the double play with the speedy Willie Wilson. The only negative is now you've got Ricky Henderson at second base, who can make life miserable for pitchers when he's at second because he steals third base better. But Houston makes a good play. No chance for the double play, so he erases the lead runner at third base, Bordick. And Buechele had good presence to go and cover the bag.
So now Jose Canseco. Give it another whirl. Single in the first inning. Grounded out to third in the fourth. He has 2 on, 2 down. 1 run in here in the 5th inning for the A's. A 1-0 lead. Ricky fakes the go at second base, and boy, has he got a huge lead at second.
Well, Ricky could run, but in this particular situation, I think with Canseco swinging as hot a bat as he has lately, I think Ricky'd be better served by staying put. All you're going to do is upset Canseco, see a guy out of the corner of your eye running. So Ricky, I think in this case, ought to stay.
I think he will. Texas counting on it. They're not even bluffing him back to the bag at second base.
Remember that statistic of 21 3-run homers for the Oakland A's so far this year. That's a phenomenal percentage out of the 80 or so they've hit.
They were throwing baseballs at him last night in right field, but friendly. That one ripped towards left. Palmer does not get it. Making the turn, Ricky Henderson. He'll score. Wilson will be held up at third, and stopping at second is Canseco. And the A's have a 2-0 lead. It is a 2-base hit. A double for Jose Canseco. And RBI number 54.
This is not meant to pick on Dean Palmer, but if you're going to play a defensive position, sooner or later they're going to find you. He misjudged the ball earlier tonight. He comes in on a ball. I don't think he got a terrific jump on this one either. Canseco hits a rocket. He took a step back, and then here he comes, and he just misses it by that 1 step. In Palmer's defense, he only played 1 game in the outfield in the minor leagues, so you can't expect a guy to be a great outfielder. But the Oakland A's have taken a 2-0 lead now, and are threatening to add to it.
Using the doubles to score off the left-hander Barfield. Dave Henderson takes it inside. He's got 2 in scoring position now, and he's a .294 hitter this season when he's got them there.
Mr. Barfield's probably sitting squarely on the bubble with Wilson at third, Canseco at second, 2 outs. Barfield could be looking at his last hitter, depending on what happens to Dave Henderson.
4 of the A's 6 hits have been doubles. Chopped back to the mound. Barfield's got it. It's a big out right there. So, a couple of runs are in. They had 3 hits, 1 error.
ESPN Major League Baseball is brought to you by O'Doul's non-alcoholic brew, brewed like a premium beer to taste like a premium beer, and by the Walker Advantage muffler, the most advanced muffler you can buy.
Juan Gonzalez takes the breaking ball by Dave Stewart for a strike. 0 for 1 tonight. Started on the DL this season. Rangers couldn't wait to get him back, and no wonder. If you look at those numbers. Stewart's given up just a couple of hits. Rangers have stranded 2, but they've had only 1 in scoring position. Stewie's mixing it up, 0-2.
Could be changing patterns. That's what a lot of great pitchers do, especially against a potent hitting team. First time through the lineup, a lot of fastballs, going more to the breaking pitches now.
Gonzalez, Buechele, and Rodriguez will face him here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Good pitchers do it. Ooh, he chased it. That's only the 2nd strikeout for Stewart in the game, and there's 1 away here in the 5th inning.
Stewart has been ahead of hitters. Dave knows how to put him away. Starts a pitch in the strike zone. Could be a slider, could have been a forkball. He kind of turned to act like a slider, but Gonzalez chases a bad pitch.
He's throwing strikes. He's given up those walks Dave mentioned, 48 of them in 96 innings coming into this game, so he's reversed that pace as well. Steve Buechele now, 1 down, nobody on. He was the other strikeout victim of Stewart's earlier in the game. Of course, Stewart trying to put a couple of wins together against Kansas City in his last outing. Went 7, gave up 3 runs on 10 hits to get the victory. It's 5-5 lifetime against the Texas Rangers. Shallow center field. Who? Second? Yes. Gallego puts it away, and there are 2 down.
Stu continues to pound inside, and the Rangers are obliging by swinging the bat. Buechele was ahead in the count 1-0. Really did not have good selection there. He chased Stewart's pitch and once again got tied up with a good inside fastball.
Texas has already beaten him once this season. One of the 3 games they won in Oakland was against Dave Stewart. In that game, they picked up 6 runs on 10 hits over 7 innings off him. Rodriguez a big part of that. See with the numbers that he's put up. Some may not remember, but Dave Stewart pitched here for the Texas Rangers briefly, but he was here in 84 and 85. 2 down, nobody on, and he misses down low. 84, he went 7-14 in 27 starts, and then in 85 he was a reliever for Texas. Went 0-6 with 4 saves. Got traded to Philadelphia. Ivan Rodriguez, the 1-0 to him up high.
By my count, as we are here in the bottom of the 5th inning, 2 outs. Dave Stewart has really only given up 2 hard-hit balls. A line drive single by Julio Franco, and then Kevin Reimer hit a rocket that Vance Law made a great play on. Rest of the night, he has handled the Rangers very well.
Rodriguez, he's got a good cut, doesn't he?
Well, we told you the young man isn't going to walk, and Stewart, I don't think, has thrown him a strike yet. But this is a 2-ball, no-strike count, and this pitch isn't even close to the strike zone, but he isn't going to take a walk.
He'll continue to catch, barring any injuries, for the rest of the season in all likelihood. And he rips at the center field. Henderson going back. Hendo is there. And Stewart has a 1-2-3 inning. That is the 3rd time he's retired the Rangers in order in this game, protecting a 2-0 lead. Want to remind you, July 4, and happy July 4, and I hope it's a safe one for you. Here on ESPN, a triple header. Baltimore will be taking on the New York Yankees at the stadium, 1 o'clock, followed by the Mets, who are rolling over the Expos this season. That's at 7. Then the Dodgers and the Padres. The West Coast rivals. Will wrap it up in our triple header, all coming up tomorrow, July 4. Please have a safe holiday. Don't drink and drive, please. If you got those fireworks, be careful. Mark McGwire will be leading it off for the Oakland A's. Barfield a walk and a strikeout. 2 of the runs. The 2 runs came in the 5th, 1 of them unearned. 2 runs, 3 hits, an error, 2 left in that inning by the A's. And McGwire takes it down low, ball 1.
Mark struggling a little bit. 2 for his last 28. We told you Dave Henderson came in, struggling a bit. Henderson broke out with a double tonight.
Barfield, as a starter this season, has worked into the 7th inning twice. Against Kansas City, he went 7, and against Chicago, he went 7 2/3 innings. The short again, Jeff Houston's got, and that'll retire Mark McGwire. Let's check in with John.
Reds and the Braves, 8th inning. Hunter at the plate and lifts this one back to center field. Watch Eric Davis go back on it. He's made plays like this, but not tonight. His face crashes into the wall. He crashes down to the turf and stays there. Blauser comes in to score. The Braves opened up an 8-5 lead, now 8-6. Davis would stay in the game with the injury. Get it back to Gary and Dave.
Swung on a miss by Terry Steinbach with 1 away.
Atlanta, one of the parks that does not have padding on its wall. The Dodgers have never had padding on their wall. Strawberry separates his shoulder. Finally, the Dodgers are saying, we're thinking about putting padding on the wall.
Well, I remember in Atlanta, they had changed their, even though they haven't padded it, they changed the outfield wall when Dale Murphy put his finger through what used to be a plexiglass fencing that had holes in it and ended up injured as a result of it.
Tony Gwynn broke a finger in Atlanta last year towards the end of the season. He had to have surgery on it after jumping for a ball against the fence.
Look out. Over Barfield's head for a base hit. Steinbach, who came in 0 for 7 over the last couple of games, is 2 for 3 in this game. And the A's have a runner on at first base. Their 7th hit with 1 down here in the 6th inning. You know, I begin to wonder, Dave, is Eric Davis going to be one of those players who is never going to be able to play without being injured?
That's a good question, Gary. I don't think he's played more than 135 games in a year in his career so far. He's put phenomenal numbers up, but he is a finely tuned athlete, but he is so muscular that I think every time he just extends himself a little bit, he just stretches the tendons. He just gets all kinds of injury problems.
I hate to see that to anybody, but it's with players with great talent who make the game that much better. The other person who's filling that role, unfortunately, is Kelly Gruber with Toronto. He can't even get back in for a game without getting hit.
Well, every time he gets back in or something happens in batting practice, he mangled his finger again the other day.
0-1 the count, 1 away. Law, look out. A double play by Palmeiro. We're seeing some glove work in this ball game. Vance Law, who did it with a glove, this time has it taken away from him by Palmeiro. No one's run hit and nobody left on. Good ball game here. Gary Thorne, Dave Campbell. Great to have you with us on this 4th of July Eve from Texas. The A's up by a score of 2-0. One of those runs unearned. RBIs going to Canseco and Bordick in the 5th inning. So Texas will try and rally back here with Jeff Houston, who flied out leading it off against Stewart. Hasn't walked anybody and has struck out 2. As we said, going into tonight's game, Stewart was averaging 4.5 walks per 9 innings this season. One-0 delivery. Houston trying to wait him out a little bit. 1-1. Rangers have won 6 of their last 8. Oakland has lost 12 of their last 16. It's hard to say that because it just doesn't sound possible.
Oakland A since 1988 have never had longer than a 5-game losing streak, and that was this year, the 5-game.
2-1 delivery. Bunting for the base hit. Foul back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tells you why.
Sometimes numbers tell, sometimes they don't. In this case, it definitely helps explain why.
Last night, with the 9 runs that they gave up, this pitching staff for Tony La Russa has fallen again into last place in the league in team ERA. I guarantee you there is nobody who placed that bet anywhere. Stewart with a 2-2 delivery to Jeff Houston. Off speed, misses up high. Count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. For the last 3 seasons, the Oakland A's have beaten Texas in the season series. Each year, 8 games to 5. 3-2 delivery. Houston, right field. Canseco. John Saunders.
Budweiser takes us now to Skydome, where Pat Borders, his 2nd time catching Tom Candiotti's knuckleball, and he calls for it here. Scott Leyes, give this a good look and just try and hit it. His first win is a J. He goes 7 innings. Dwayne Ward pitches the 8th. Tom Henke the 9th. Jays 4-0. Their 10th shutout leads the majors. Dave, any way to hit that thing?
The late Charlie Lau said there are 2 theories on hitting the knuckleball, and unfortunately, neither one of them worked. And I asked his disciple, Walt Rindiak, and he said Charlie was right.
Get up as far as you can in the box and pray. Palmer, 1-0 count, 1 down, 2-0 lead. Fouled off.
Gary, talking about that, the walls, I mean, not only does it, I think, help prevent injury, but I think it adds a dimension to the game because outfielders are a lot more prone to go head first into a wall to try to make a spectacular catch if it's padded. You get against the wall where there's no padding, guys are going to pull up short.
1-1 is in, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, you figure when you're paying some guy $3 million in the outfield, you might want to put padding up like that. It may be costly, but it's a whole lot more costly to pay somebody the $3 million while he's watching the game from a hospital room somewhere. 1-2 delivery to Palmer.
Fork ball, nails him. Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, on Dave Stewart on what he expects and what's been going on.
And basically what Dave did is come back and got into that power pitching mode, kind of got away from his fork ball, and that's not his best style of pitching. And so what we've tried to do lately is get him back to using his fork ball and not trying to overpower the hitter, having a little better location with the fastball, and it's starting to pay some dividends. And I think that the next couple of starts, Dave Stewart's going to be back to his normal form.
Prophetic at this point.
3 strikeouts, no walks, 2 hits, and no runs off Dave Stewart. Dave had 11 complete games and 4 shutouts last season. He has neither of either thus far this year.
And when you retire the leadoff man, it makes your job a lot easier. 6 consecutive innings, Stewart's retired the leadoff man.
2 down, nobody on. Well, that 2-0 lead. The 2 hits off Stewart. Palmero's double in the first inning. He then retired 10 in a row. Franco got a 2-out single in the 4th.
First 3-0 count for Stewart all night.
Rafael Palmeiro taking, and it's in there. 3 balls and 1 strike. Another one of these Rangers up on top, Dave, in so many categories. He's 2nd in runs, 3rd in doubles, 5th in hits, 4th in total bases, and 5th in extra base hits. He's on. First walk by Dave Stewart comes with 2 down in the 6th inning.
Palmeiro also hot with the home run ball of late. He's had a pair of 2 home run games out of the last 4. So Stewart, I don't think he wanted to walk Palmeiro. He probably tried to challenge him because all of a sudden now the tying run comes up in a guy who can go deep, Mr. Sierra.
This is where the Texas Rangers play Oakland A's kind of baseball. Get somebody on and bring them on home. This season the Rangers have picked up a total of 71 home runs. They lead the world in runs. One is fouled off and hard. Strike 1 on Ruben Sierra.
Longest hitting streak in the American League this year, 18 games, was stopped by Mark Langston on Monday night. But Sierra picked right back up yesterday with 2 hits.
56 RBIs. 3rd in the league in runs batted in. He represents the potential tying run, and Stewart stays down low to him. Sierra a phenomenal 373 with runners in scoring position. I mean, that is superlative. You face big moments in a game 2 or 3 times. Here's one for Stewart. Down low, 2-1 on Sierra.
This is a situation where each man has great pride. Each man has great respect for the other. Stewart is trying not to make a mistake and be aggressive, and Sierra is just looking for that one pitch that he can go deep on.
2-1 delivery with 2 down, and it's foul back out in front of it as he kicks the ground around home plate. 2-2.
Yeah, that was some kind of a breaking pitch. It didn't break, and it stayed right up in Ruben's eyes. Fortunately for Stewart, maybe that was a little too high for Sierra. He didn't mean to throw it up there, but Ruben probably would have liked it just a notch lower.
Sierra just a 200 hitter lifetime against Dave Stewart. 2 of his 7 hits, home runs. Chops it to first, Mark McGuire, and this battle will be won by Dave Stewart. No runs, no hits, a base runner left on. We've completed 6 here in Arlington, Texas. Oakland leading it. Dave Stewart throwing a shutout against the Rangers right now. 2-0. There you see the line over 6. Gary Thorne, Dave Campbell, great to have you with us. Again, a happy 4th to you. David, Oakland's going to take some steps probably to get back to the team they were, and we may be seeing one of those tonight.
Yeah, step 1 is getting their pitching staff back in order, and Dave Stewart has been phenomenal to this point. Only allowed 2 base hits in the game. He is pitching a very strong game. He's going to give the bullpen a little bit of a night off. Maybe we'll see Eck later, but hey, Stu's doing the job.
You see the kind of tenacity that Dave Stewart has trying to win his way back. You're seeing it tonight.
Second baseman Mike Gallego.
Fans probably wish we moved positions upstairs more often. There's silence for a moment. Barfield getting ready to go. He's been impressive here tonight. Mike Gallego will lead it off. Hello, deep left field. Palmer back at the wall. Goodbye, home run. Mike Gallego, number 3.
Well, the Oakland A's, in bad need of a win, are getting some unexpected help tonight. Mike Bordick, Mike Gallego, numbers 8 and 9 in the lineup, have driven in 2 runs. And what they expected all along was great pitching from Dave Stewart. It hasn't been there, but it is tonight. So everything is looking good for the A's at this point, but they still have 3 innings to go.
6th home run off Barfield this season. Gallego's 3rd. And for Mike Gallego, that'll be RBI number 17. He's got a single, a home run, an RBI, and 2 runs scored for Gallego tonight. And here is Bordick, the shortstop, Jeff Houston. And the stretch made by Palmeiro. John Saunders.
Mets and the Expos, Ron Darling trying to nail down a win. Delino DeShields at the plate. Get some help from the guy the pitchers like to have back there at second. Tommy Hurd dives from his knees, throws him out. Darling allowed just 2 hits through 8 innings, picks up his 99th career win, and the Expos have lost 10 in a row. Here in Dave.
Where the Mets adding to Montreal's woes. And adding to the woes right here, Gallego.
Well, Gallego, first pitch fastball, got it. Mike tattooed it. He doesn't hit too many that he knows are gone, but he does this one.
Mike Gallego had 11 career home runs coming into this season. Add 3 more to that total. Stewie will take the support tonight here. As the Oakland A's have a 3-0 lead now on 8 hits. Ricky Henderson, who reached on an error, scored in the 5th. It's the unearned run off Barfield. It looks like the meter on the tank is getting down towards the empty side right now. He's pushing the baseball a little hard. Barfield has 1 down and nobody on. Ricky Henderson takes it away. 3 balls and 1 strike. Ricky comes out into the on-deck circle here in Texas. It's very close to the stands. Turns around and poses for pictures. 3-1 pitch. 3-2. They ask him to smile. He smiles. He's not smiling. This club down 3-0. And Ricky to center. Gonzalez with room. 2 down here in the 7th inning. 2 away. Base is empty. Sure can't complain tonight about the start, though, by John Barfield. He's been impressive. He's just hooked up against Stewart on a strong night. Strongest outing he's had, and the A's getting some clutch hits. 2 down, nobody on, and Wilson has been on twice, a walk and a fielder's choice. Against left-handers this season, the Oakland A's are 11-9 against left-handed starters. Usually our ball club past years where it didn't matter whether you were right or left. This season it's been a little bit different. There you see the numbers on Barfield. He's approaching that 100 mark. Still, that's a good ratio. 1 ball, 1 strike. Left-hander's delivery is in on the inside corner to Wilson, the switch hitter, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Willie Wilson, switch hitter, coming into the game hitting .259 right-handed and .216 left-handed. He's had about triple the at-bats, double the at-bats left-handed as opposed to right, as you would figure. 1-2 count, 2 away. Stay that way.
Well, so much for the managerial changes this year. Montreal with a 10-game losing streak after a change. The Cubs have been abysmals after a 5-game winning streak when Jim Essien first took over. Baltimore Orioles are at the bottom of the American League East, along with Cleveland, Kansas City at the bottom of the West, and the Phillies haven't done well. So the managerial switches haven't worked.
Reaching for that one and bobble to Houston, but he can't make the play. Franco going towards the bag, couldn't come up with it, and Wilson is on. And that will probably be the second error charged to the Texas Rangers. One at short and one at second.
Franco surrounds, charges, just doesn't field it cleanly, and that will be an error. That's the other 10th charge to Julio so far this year. Excuse me, 11th. Last year he tied Harold Reynolds for the most in the American League with 19, but Reynolds won the Gold Glove.
So that is going to do it for Barfield, and Kel Schiraldi, who's been warming up on and off for the last couple of innings, will come in with a runner on and 2 down. A's up 3-0. Right-hander Kel Schiraldi is on in relief of John Barfield, and he's facing Canseco. The runner goes, and there'll be no throw. Rodriguez just dropped it as he tried to get it out of the glove, so Wilson will reach on the error, get the stolen base.
Much like Ricky Henderson last night against Nolan Ryan, Rodriguez, if you give him a chance, he's going to throw somebody out. But Calvin Schiraldi fell asleep at the switch, and Willie Wilson had a running start at first base. Easy stolen base.
That puts him in scoring position now. That's his 10th stolen base, 10 for 14. Canseco delivered an RBI double in the 5th with 2 down. Trying to do it again here. That one to left field. It is deep. Palmer back, looking up. Goodbye, home run, Jose Canseco.
Well, I don't know if it's Calvin or ESPN or just the wrong guys. Last Friday, he came into a game in Anaheim, gave up back-to-back to Joyner and Winfield, and comes into this one, and Canseco gets full extension, and when Jose does that, you can kiss it bye-bye.
Canseco now leads the American League in home runs as he has picked up his 20th of the season. Joe Carter had 2 home runs today, tying Cecil Fielder and Chili Davis for second. 3 RBI ball game for Canseco. A home run, a double, and a single. He'll be going for the root his next at-bat.
Well, all the great ones hit him in streaks. Canseco has now hit 12 in his last 23 games. He is in the middle of a tear right now.
A 5-0 lead. Barfield's line is closed. 6 2/3 innings. He gives up 4 runs. Only 2 of them are earned, though. 1 strikeout, 1 walk, and a home run. Schiraldi charged with run number 5.
Gary, I think that's what even makes Cecil Fielder's numbers more impressive is the fact that he doesn't really have, he's got some guys that can go deep behind him. Mickey Tuttleton's been going well, but right now, guys like Dave Henderson and Harold Baines and Mark McGuire hitting behind Canseco, you just don't pitch around the guy very much. He only has 3 intentional walks this year.
Boy, we're seeing a typical A's kind of game when they are on. Is this the night the A's begin the drive in earnest again? You never know. This may be one of the first nights where they've had about everything going. They've got Dave Stewart pitching a gem. He's got a 2-hit shutout going. They're getting home runs, and even some of their other people are picking them up. John?
Indians and the Yankees, Steve Farr trying to nail down another one against this man, Albert Bell. Farr came into the game with 11 saves, and Bell chases the pitch outside. 10th save in his last 15 appearances, 18 straight scoreless innings. They have a hot bullpen right now. Back to Gary and Dave.
Good for Steve.
Break up the Yankees.
Stump's got a club that just may play some .500 baseball. Mark McGuire now against Schiraldi. Boy, Schiraldi, what do you say about this guy? He has been touted for so many years as a potential. Released by San Diego. He's pitching at AAA with the Toros for Houston. Acquired June 20th by Texas with a bullpen that needed some help. Not getting it from Cal Schiraldi right now.
Well, it kind of goes back to what's going on with the economics of baseball. I was talking to a number of scouts before the game tonight. Teams trying to save money in that mid-relief, and that's where teams are getting killed. 5th, 6th, and 7th innings. Just not good mid-relief anywhere in the major leagues right now. And with the economics having to pay the big stars like the McGuires and Cansecos and Rickies the big money, teams have to find a way to save somewhere. And mid-relief's been the spot that, boy, the clubs have paid for it.
And you've come to a situation in Major League Baseball where you've said to the starters now for a decade you don't have to go beyond 6 innings. So you're asking for middle relief as a part of the game, and yet not spending the money on it. There's 2 walks by Schiraldi, and you know that home run by Canseco had something to do with the way he just worked to Mark McGuire. And the house is coming out again.
Well, one of the reasons the Los Angeles Dodgers have been so successful the last month or so is they've had 28 of 30 starts by their pitchers where they've gone at least into the 7th inning. They don't have to worry as much about mid-relief, so the Dodgers have been able to avoid that with a great starting rotation.
Schiraldi has now worked 4 2/3 innings, has given up 5 hits and 6 runs, 3 home runs, and 5 walks. And he will go no further in this one with the Oakland A's on top by a score of 4-0. Rosenthal on.
ESPN Major League Baseball is brought to you by Michelob Light. It's always smooth, never filling, so why settle for anything less? By Choice Hotels International. By Olympic, the family of products that protect your home from damage rain can do. Olympic stops the rain. And by Minolta Freedom Cameras. When you can't get to the picture, Minolta Freedom Zoom 90 brings the picture to you.
Of those 9 hits, 6 of them have been for extra bases. Rosenthal becomes the 3rd pitcher. Cal Schiraldi, no part of an inning. A hit, a home run, charged with 1 run so far and a couple of walks.
Mentioned that the Texas bullpen has had an ERA close to 9 over the last 16 games, but they've still been winning.
That's because of all that offense, but that will catch up with it. Wayne Rosenthal on the mound to Steinbach, who's got a couple of hits.
You and I were kind of thinking about clubs that maybe do have good mid-relief right now. We came up with the Yankees, White Sox. One of the characteristics of both of those teams is they are young guys that they've gotten out of their farm system. The guys who are getting retreads, getting cycled all around the major leagues, just aren't getting the job done.
Right. Those 2 clubs really do have some good middle relief pitchers, and both managers, Jeff Torborg and Stump Merrill, use them regularly. Slapped by Steinbach to shot. Jeff Huson's got it. Had a hard time getting it out of the glove, but he got it there in time. But a very big 7th inning. 3 runs in for the Oakland A's, including a 2-run homer by Canseco. 7th inning stretch. 7th inning stretch time here in Texas, and for the Texas fans, not a lot to cheer about here tonight. Big crowd on hand again, 37,698. They have passed the million mark. But it has been a Dave Stewart night. Bottom half of the 7th inning. And he misses with that one. Franco, Reimer, and Gonzalez. Only 2 hits for the Texas Rangers. 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 4th. Double and a single. Only 3 have been left on base and only 1 in scoring position. That was the double in the 1st inning by Palmeiro.
Well, there was a time in baseball when you're down by 5, got to take a strike. Not anymore, folks. You leave the bench happy.
Stewart with a 1-1 count. Franco hitting at .322 as he stands in to short. Bordick. And he did hang on to the bag. Good stretch by McGuire to help Bordick. John?
Astros and the Giants. Jim DeShay is facing Matt Williams, and Williams thinks he must have a hit here, but watch Gonzalez stretch out, dive, and come up with the grab. The Astros have a couple of runs on the board. Candel with a solo home run is second. It's 2-0. Back to Gary and Dave.
John McMullen talking with some Houston people about selling that ball club now. Fouled off by Reimer.
Just when the Giants get on a roll, 8 out of 9 starting that series, in come the Astros. They get a win last night. Mark Portugal, who owns the Giants, beat him, and they're leading tonight 2-0.
You would not want to face San Francisco second half of the season. I'm feeling they're going to do some damage. They're way out of it, but they're an angry team right now, and they've got a skipper who never says die.
Now, the Giants need a dose of what Dave Stewart is giving the Oakland A's tonight. They need some pitchers to start really turning it up a notch.
0-2 delivery by Stewart is inside to Reimer. His 0 for 2 tonight has taken his average to 278. Won 9-6. The Rangers did last night. Slugfest. Stewart has shut down an offense which has been unshuttable. I realize that's incorrect English, but that's what they've been. 19 hits last night. Third time they've done it this season. Batting .319 in the last 8 games. It's Texas Ball Club leading the majors in slugging, on base percentage, runs, total bases. Second in the league in hits. Just 4 behind Minnesota. All that offense. And as Dave said, Stewart's pitching has been dominated here tonight. 5-0 lead for the A's. Reimer with a 1-2.
Reimer, one of the few Canadians playing in Major League Baseball. He did go to Cal State Fullerton. His dad, Jerry, played 11 years in the Phillies organization.
Stewart's breaking ball misses inside. 2-2. His heart's got to be double pumping right now because of the performance he's getting here tonight. Off-speed pitch again, and out in front of it, Reimer. McGuire's been busy at first base with some pop-ups tonight. He's got another one. There are 2 down, John.
Royals and the Angels. Chuck Finley on the mound with George Brett on second because of the double. Danny Tartable lifts this one out. His 16th home run of the year. Brett's double, number 575 on his career. He's 9th on the all-time doubles list. Kansas City strikes first. They're up 2-0 in the first. Back to Gary and Dave.
Thank you, John. 5-0 lead here. 2 down. Tony La Russa was saying, and looking at selecting the pitchers for the All-Star game, Erickson, of course, is on the injured list, and that's tough. Best ERA. Roger Clemens, I think, is starting Sunday. I don't think he's going to be available. I think Finley is going to start again. Center field. Dave Henderson is there. He's got it. That'll retire Gonzalez. A 1-2-3 inning again. We've completed 7 here in Texas. Oakland leading at 5-0. Texas, Gary Thorne, Dave Campbell, a 5-0 lead for the A's over the Rangers on the 2-hit shutout being thrown by Stewart. Third pitcher, Wayne Rosenthal. Working, Barfield, Schiraldi, Rosenthal. And that one's going to be taken down low by Vance Law, the only A who did not hit in the 7th inning.
You're looking forward to next Monday? I am. The Old-Timers All-Star game in Toronto.
That's going to be fun.
Love those games.
That will be shown on ESPN 8:30 Eastern Time on Monday night. You'll see the heroes of baseball. The Upper Deck card people are sponsoring that whole series this season, including that Upper Deck All-Star Heroes of Baseball game. Law takes the strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and they've corrected me. It's 9:30 Eastern Time Monday night.
You just said 8:30 because you knew some of those old-timers couldn't stay up that late to see it.
No, because it was in that 40-page packet we got today. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rosenthal bounces that one in front of home plate.
That got Don Dinkinger, the home plate umpire, on the shoulders. Don's going to take the slow walk out. He's looking like he's examining the baseball, and what he's trying to do is get the sting out of the shoulder.
And he's telling the pitcher to get that thing up there.
60 feet 6 inches, Rosenthal. Throw the ball to the plate.
You may be asking, who is Wayne Rosenthal? Well, He was called up from Oklahoma City on the 24th, 3-2 there, 5 saves in 16 games at the AAA level. And a good cut fastball, maybe, whatever it was moving away from Long.
Second baseman Mike Gallego.
The old forkball. I'm so glad Wayne Rosenthal made it. I have a radio talk show in San Diego, and some fan called me about 2 weeks ago and said, "Do you have any idea where a guy named Wayne Rosenthal is?" He said he's the best friend, or he's the son of my best friend back in Brooklyn. I said, "No, but I'll find out." Thank goodness I did not have to scour through the minor leagues to find out about Wayne Rosenthal. Here he is.
Right here. 1 down, nobody on. 8th inning, 5-0 lead. Mike Gallego picked up his 3rd home run of the season, 14th of his major league career. In the 7th inning, he scored a couple of runs here tonight, helping out in the 9-hit attack. The 2 runs scored on a home run and a single. And it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Gallego. Bobby Valentine has really had to patch the pitching staff together. He's had to take the bullpen and make it part of the starting rotation. To short, Jeff Hewson's got it. And there are 2 down here in the 8th.
Bruce Gossage threw in the bullpen tonight. He could be close to coming back off the disabled list. Brian Bohannon, who's been on the DL since before spring training after shoulder surgery, he was just activated and sent to Oklahoma City, so they could have some help on the way. But the key guys are how Ryan is going to be, his health the second half, and whether they can get Bobby Witt back. They are going to lose Scott Champerino. He is going to have elbow surgery.
He was talking with Gossage before the game tonight. He says he believes he's 100%. He's ready, and he is eligible to come off. 2 down, nobody on. He's throwing each day on the sideline. I asked him if he had aired it out. He said, "I haven't thrown as hard as I can, but it's not because I can't. I'm just hanging on, waiting to know when I'm going to be taken off the DL." 1-0 delivery. That's inside. Bordick, his first major league RBI in the 5th inning when he picked up a double, his 1 for 2. Wayne Rosenthal, he's not on the 40-man. He's not even on the second half of the book. He's in part 3. Comes out of Brooklyn, New York.
I knew that.
You knew that. Entire career since 1986 has been at the minor league level. Prior to this season, he had never pitched in a Major League Baseball game. AAA last year, 42 games for him. AAA again this season until the 24th of June.
Just based on what we've seen, chances are he has developed the forkball, and that probably has gotten him the call to the Rangers. He's shown a pretty good forkball tonight, and he spotted his fastball well.
He's a graduate of St. John's University. Foul tipped and not held onto. So wait, guys, go back. Everybody was leaving the field. Gonzalez is already in at second base, center fielder. He's got a long run back. Don Denkinger saying Rodriguez did not control it.
Well, Juan Gonzalez will slash back to center. I got to say something about Don Denkinger. I mean, we never give the umpires compliments when they have a great night. I don't think anybody's turned around all night and taken a look at Denkinger like he missed a pitch.
Good point. 2-2. Breaking ball. They want to check. No. They started off the field again. Larry McCoy at first. Durwood Merrill at second, and Tim McClellan rounding out this crew, by the way. Denkinger, the home plate umpire, is the crew chief.
I got a story on each one of these guys, but you never start a story with 2 outs, so I'm going to hold off.
Especially on a 3-2 count. Bordick waiting. Wayne Rosenthal. Got him this time. Couple of strikeouts for Rosenthal. He retires the side in order. 5-0 lead for the A's. Steve Buechele, a lifetime .237 hitter, doing much better than that this season, will be leading it off against Dave Stewart. Not here tonight. He has struck out and popped out. Stewart looking for his first complete game of the season. Walking 1, striking out 3, giving up just 2 hits. And Buechele takes the strike. 1-1. Opponents were hitting .282 against Stewart coming into this game. You would not know it by the way he has pitched here tonight. Grounded again to short, like Bordick. He's got the arm over to McGuire, who's got the height. One away.
I would certainly like to pass along best wishes to our producer extraordinaire, Mark Quinzel, who's working his final Wednesday night game tonight. He has been terrific to work with, and the only thing that's scary is he's going to the home office now to become an executive. And you and I have been fooling the executives back there for 2 years, and we can't fool him anymore because he knows us.
He's off to Missoula, Montana, the home office. He's moving up. He's going to have a desk and a door.
He's been clothes shopping. He's working on suits.
A tie. Full-length pair of pants. Ivan Rodriguez 0 for 2. And we wish him all the best. He's an outstanding director and producer. And now will become an executive producer with ESPN. And we're happy for him and for the family. We're going to take him to Cleveland. You won't get to go with us to Cleveland. We're going to do a game there Friday. It'll be his final game for the time being with us. And Carol, who lives there in Cleveland, is going to salute us on the 4th. That's an owl, in case you're wondering.
Canseco's going, what are you guys doing to me out here? Jose's been taking a lot of barbs from fans all around the leagues.
That's one of the few fans who looks at Canseco and says, who?
He said, hey, Jose, the rumor in New York is you're a night owl.
What are they going to do? Expect him to pick up a baseball? Oh, the poor baby. There you go. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Ooh. We need an Audubon Society member to help out here. Obviously, the owl is injured.
You know, I did read a year ago that
Yes.
Canseco absolutely loves animals. And Larry McCoy, is that Larry?
No, that's Durwood. Durwood Merrill.
Not away, Durwood.
Leave a little opening at the top, guys.
I was reading some things about Canseco that he loves to watch any kind of television show involving animals. So Jose was looking after the best interest of the owl there.
Stewie.
Yeah, everybody's smiling except
I'm smiling.
Stewie.
I'm like,
No.
He's after a complete game win.
Yeah, he's smiling at those numbers inside.
Home plate umpire thanking or asking him if he's all right. They'd let him warm up a couple more if he wanted to, but he said he's ready. One down, a 1-0 count on Rodriguez. Then we hope the owl is all right. One-0 pitch. Second baseman, Gallego. And there are 2 down. And we do wish Mark the best of luck before we were interrupted by the owl, seriously. Triple-header coming up on July 4, starting at Yankee Stadium. Where else? Where the Orioles will take on Stump Merrill's Yankees, who are winning. The Mets and Expos at 7. The Mets romping over the Expos in the series they're in. And then the Dodgers and the Padres will wrap it up at 10. Our triple-header tomorrow, July 4, right here on ESPN. Where are you tomorrow?
San Diego. At the home. Mike Stanley comes out. We got a pinch hitter.
He will hit for Jeff Houston with 2 down, nobody on here in the 8th inning, and the A's up 5-0. Stewart's pitch to him catches the inside corner, strike 1. Stanley is a pinch hitter, 0 for 9, but a couple of RBIs. And right to short. Mike Bordick right there was moved over towards second base, played perfectly. Again, the side retired in order, and that's 7 in a row retired by Stewart. 5-0 lead, and the question now, can Dave Stewart get a complete game shutout? Gary Green has come into play at shortstop. Jeff Houston being pinch hit for. On the mound is Mike Jeffcoat. He's got a new battery mate. Mike Stanley's going to stay in the game, and he'll do catches.
So Stanley goes in behind the plate. We don't remember when Rodriguez pulled up a little lame. It could be that, or Bobby Valentine just figuring, hey, warm weather in Texas. Give the kid an inning off. Have him fresh for tomorrow.
See the numbers on Mike Jeffcoat this season. A lot of games. Tied for third in the American League coming into tonight's play with those appearances. Ricky Henderson will be leading it off for the Oakland A's. Trying to get their first victory of the season against the Texas Rangers in 5 starts.
Ricky atop the stolen base leaderboard again. He has led the American League 10 out of 11 years.
And will he keep a hit streak alive? Yes. An infield single by Ricky Henderson, and he's got a 9-game hit streak.
I think Ricky was in his, oh, that's a base hit. I think I'll take a trot here. And all of a sudden he turned on the afterburners. Let's see how Ricky goes. Gary Green makes a great play and has a good release. And Ricky, looking over his shoulder, sees that and decides to kick in the afterburners and go for the head-first slide. He wants the base hit.
A belly flop over the bag. So Green graded with the infield single. Now Wilson swung on and missed strike 1. Willie Wilson reached on an error in the 7th and scored. John Barfield, the starter, 6 2/3, 4 runs, 2 earned, 8 hits. Schiraldi, no part of an inning, or earned run, home run given up to Canseco. Rosenthal, good job, retired 4 batters he faced and struck out 2. Now Jeffcoat's on.
Could be a good contest if Ricky were inclined to run, although he has not shown that with his lead on the first 2 pitches. But Jeffcoat, when he was pitching last year, did not allow 1 stolen base.
Wilson way out in front of that delivery by Jeffcoat. A ball and 2 strikes. Batting .226 on the year now.
5-0 lead, safe enough that you don't run? 9th inning?
No, not really. He does have a hamstring, though, that kicked up on him again and again this season and last year. I don't think he's inclined to run unless it really matters. 1 and 2. Jeffcoat. Wilson, a tapper back to the mound. Jeffcoat will go to first. And we'll get the out there. Palmero covering. Ricky Henderson at second base now. And 1 away.
Well, Mr. Canseco with a chance to hit for the cycle here. Last guy to do that for the A's, Tony Phillips. But Canseco would need the toughest of all, a triple. And this is not a real triples part.
Dave Winfield, the rejuvenated Dave Winfield. Hit for the cycle a few days ago. Did it against Kansas City. Talk about a guy who's returned to prior form. Winfield fits that category right now. Now Canseco. Jeffcoat coming inside to him. League leading 20th home run in the 7th inning came off Cal Schiraldi. First batter Schiraldi faced. The double in the 5th was good for an RBI. The single came in the 1st. Runner at second, Ricky Henderson. 1 down, the 1-0. Breaking ball misses again. 2 balls and no strikes.
It's amazing what a little bit of confidence will do for Canseco. He was kind of flailing the first time up. He's seeing the ball very well right now. Jeffcoat trying to get him to bite at low breaking pitches. Jose just kind of spinning on him right now.
2-0 delivery. He wanted that all the way across the plate.
Ricky said that ball was right there. How did he miss that pitch?
He's talking to Steve Buechele all the way over to third base.
He said if he'd have hit that ball, it'd have been on top of the moon.
Canseco batting .247 now with the 3 hits he's had in this game. He rifles that one. The 5-0 lead. He's just thinking about full-blown wind-up. Take a whack at it. This club may have started this day in 5th. As Dave noted, only 3.5 games out of first place, and All they need a couple of wins like this and Dave Stewart back in form, and they'll be just as cocky and swaggering just as heavily as they ever have. And Canseco steps out with a 2-2 count. Tony La Russa will have a long all-star break. Team on the road for 6 games, 4 here, 2 at Kansas City. Then he's got to go to Toronto, where he will manage the American League All-Star team for the 3rd consecutive season. 2-2 delivery inside. Does not go after it. 3-2. Really impressed with Tony's seriousness about that all-star situation. What he does. I mean, here's a manager who's got enough problems of his own taking care of this ball club and trying to put it back together again, but has never let a day go by this season without thinking about who should be on that all-star team. He wants it to be fair and just. To third base, Buechele. 2 down. Murphy stays at second. That'll leave it up to Dave Henderson to go for the RBI. Hindu hit a double, was stranded in the 4th inning. Did reach on a walk in the 7th.
Hindu having another tough night, not having any fun at the ballpark. He's gabbing with Stanley.
Batting .324 on the road this season. All the right numbers. Driving in runs. Big clutch hits. Home runs. I think that sign was about $6 he allegedly picked up when they started throwing money at him on the field in order to get him to sign autographs. He kept the money.
Dave said the only bad thing about having this great year is he's kind of losing his anonymity. He said all of a sudden people, I'm in demand, and I don't like that. I like my privacy.
He loved playing in the shadow, if that's appropriate to say. It certainly is not true that he plays in anybody's shadow, but publicity-wise, Canseco and McGuire and Stewart and Eckersley had a lot more publicity than Dave Henderson ever did, and he thought that was just fine. 3-0 pitch to him, and that'll be taken down low, and he's on again with another walk. So he's drawn 2 walks tonight, and with 2 down, the A's have runners on at first and second base for Mark McGuire. Mark 0 for 3 and a walk himself tonight. Again, the numbers for McGuire appear so strange. Batting average right at the 200 mark. And he hits it to right field near the warning track. Sierra will put it away. So he is gone with a caller in this one tonight. Bottom of the 9th, 5-0 A's. Our storyline here tonight with the A's up 5-0 is Dave Stewart looking for his first complete game and a shutout, no less. He has been outstanding as you see his numbers. Jose Canseco, the big night. You see the 3 RBIs, 3 hits, including his league-leading 20th home run tonight. For the Oakland A's, a chance to get their first victory against the Rangers, who had beaten the A's in the first 4. Dave Stewart, 5 wins, 4 losses on the season. And the Rangers in the bottom of the 9th inning, top of the order. Dean Palmer, 0 for 3 against Stewart. Palmer, Palmeiro, and Sierra. And that, look out, Dennis Eckersley warming up. Watch that one go a little closer than he liked.
Just in case. The Eck is tossing.
Nice to have that kind of just in case. 1-1 delivery by Stewart, and Palmer takes it up high. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Kind of like the Blue Jays right now, not only with Tom Henke, but Dwayne Ward, setup man and closer. Jays get a lead. It's like money in the bank.
Palmer, center field. Dave Henderson. 1 down. So Palmer 0 for 4. You got a lot of that one, but it's 400 to get to the wall in center. And Stewart has one of the 3 he needs for the complete game here. If he can get it, he'll be 6-5 lifetime against his former team, the Rangers. Palmeiro. 6-game hit streak. Continued with a double in the first inning. But there was only one other hit after that. Franco's single with 2 down in the 4th. Gallego to Mark McGuire. 2 down. 2 away, bases empty.
We mentioned how Dave Stewart started off the ball game first 2 times through the order, threw a lot of fastballs, and I think a case in point will be Ruben Sierra. First 2 times up, Sierra saw 1 breaking ball and 6 fastballs as Stewart retired him on a fly out and a bounce out. Next 2 times, 4 breaking balls and a fastball. So Stu changed the pitching pattern mid-game, went more to the forkball and an occasional curve or slider, whatever he calls that one pitch.
What a job he has done. 2 down and nobody on. Dave Stewart, 1 out away from wrapping up a complete game 2-hit shutout against the Texas Rangers, the best hitting team in baseball, coming into tonight's game. The 0-1. And missed with that one. 1 ball and 1 strike. He had 11 complete games last year. ERA is going to get down with this one. That one to center field. Dave Henderson over, will not get it. Scoops it on a hop. That's a base hit. He tries to fool second base umpire Derwin Merrill. He's going to have no part of that. So Sierra's on with a hit. 2-out single in the 9th inning. And Julio Franco will get another at-bat.
McGuire probably asking Sierra, you got your reservations for Toronto? And Ruben said, well, you got elected. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I suspect you will.
Two down. Runner on. Stewart. Outside, ball 1. Count on Franco. Stewie's struggling here, understandably so, in the 9th inning, trying to get the complete game. She wants desperately. There's not much left in the arm now, except to just get it up there.
Well, you saw Terry Steinbach. Just have him slow down a little bit, Dave. Just get your composure. Throw me some good strikes. Sometimes when you get so close to the end, you just want to rush things up and get it over with.
And he's outside on that one. 3 balls and no strike. Tony La Russa doesn't want to do anything that would hurt him, but would love to see him get a complete game win. So would all of his teammates. 3-0 count will be taken here, and he lays it in. 3 balls and 1 strike. Texas Rangers have been shut out only 4 times this season. For the Oakland pitching staff, not a lot of shutouts this year. Only 3. The whole staff. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 down. Stewart walks him. 2 on. Second walk of by Stewart. Duncan will make a trip to the mound.
Yeah, and with Dave running out, you can bet there's not going to be a pitching change. Sometimes it's just the body language. Instead of Tony La Russa coming out or Dave Duncan to make the slow walk, Duncan came sprinting out. If Stewart saw him coming, Dave knew, hey, that means they're leaving me in. He just wants to come out and slow me down a little bit, and that really helps the confidence, too.
Takes it back. Just wants to get out there to congratulate Stewart. 2 down. Bottom of the 9th inning. A's are leading it 5-0. Out hitting the Rangers 10-3. 1 more out. All Stewart needs. Primer up. 2 on, 2 down. Rangers 20-13 here at home this season. Another very strong year here in Arlington for them. Last year they had 47 home wins. Just not an easy team to beat this year anywhere, but especially here. Stewart with a 1-0 count. Reimer up in front of the off-speed delivery, 1-1.
Reimer thought he was going to get the puppy, the fastball down the middle, and Stu threw him a forkball. It almost came out of his shoes to try and hit it.
Texas had been held to 2 hits in the game earlier this season. Stewie's given up 3 in this one. Well, he's had Reimer out in front on that off-speed pitch all night long, 1-2. Dave Stewart, after his 51st career complete game and his 9th career shutout. 1 strike away from it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two delivery to Reimer, and that's it. His 4th strikeout ends the game. A 3-hit shutout for Dave Stewart.
Gary, as you mentioned, he did not do this against just any club. He did it against the club with the best batting average and the leading scoring team in Major League Baseball. Dave Stewart was tremendous all night long. He got RBIs from Mike Gallego and Mike Bordick, kind of unexpected sources. Jose Canseco hit knocked in 3, and the A's played brilliant defense, very much reminiscent of the A's of past days. Great pitching, great defense, and the long ball.
And here is strikeout number 4 that ended the ball game, and Dave Stewart's got a victory to take him to 6-4. His ERA goes from 5.74 to 5.25. Barfield loses at 3-3. Gallego, Canseco the home runs. Happy July 4 for Dave Campbell, all of our crew, Gary Thorne. Oakland wins it